हेलो उस्मा।
यस मैम। मैम
वहां लिखा
लाइव स्टार्ट हो गया। मैम लाइव स्टार्ट हो गया।
Okay, so I wanted to ask one thing. They have written that we have to
मैम प्लीज चैट बॉक्स में आप पूछ लो, लाइव स्टार्ट हो गया है।
All right, all right.
Yes. So good morning, distinguished guests and dear participants. I wish you all a happy International Women's Day. A woman is an epitome of beauty, wisdom. Good morning, distinguished guests and dear participants. I wish you all happy International Women's Day. A woman is an epitome of beauty, wisdom, and care. She has climbed the mountain and dived the ocean. She has matched the steps with every man in the world. Today, on the occasion of International Women's Day, we are celebrating the power of women and welcome you all on the opening ceremony of 4th International World Women Conference organized by Mata Sundari College for Women, University of Delhi, India, in collaboration with Institute of Economic Development and Social Science Research, Turkey. Before we start, we should get a blessing from Mata Sundari ji. So I request everyone to cover your head.
ना डरो अरसों जब जाए लरो, निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करो। ना डरो अरसों जब जाए लरो, निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करो। निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करो। देह शिवा बर मोहे है, शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरो। देह शिवा बर मोहे है, शुभ कर मन ते कब हो न डरो। हर सुख हो अपने ही मन को, ऐ लालच हो गुण तो चरो। जब आग की औद निदान बने, अत ही रण में तब जूझ मरो। अत ही रण में तब जूझ मरो। बोले सोनिया सच ही अकार। बोले सोनिया सच ही अकार।
So after the blessing of Mata Sundari ji, let's start the session. For this conference, we have received more than 200 research papers across 24 countries, including Turkey, Africa, USA, Argentina, China, etc. And we are grateful to Dr. Mustafa Latif Emek, founder and director of ICSAT, for this collaboration. This is our team working day and night to organize this conference. And today we are honored to have Samira ma'am. Samira ma'am is the head Foreign Relationship Department of ICSAT. I'd like to invite Samira ma'am to welcome our guests. Samira ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. On behalf of the organizing committee, we are pleased to welcome all of you, scholars, professors, researchers, students, and guests. On this very special day, it is a great pleasure to celebrate this International Women's Day with you all. I wish you a very happy and blessed Women's Day. It is my honor to welcome you here at the World Women's Conference on its fourth edition. ICSAT and Mata Sundari College for Women at the University of Delhi have been working hard to create this platform for researchers from all over the world to share their works. Allow me to share brief information about ICSAT. You've been hearing about ICSAT, which is the Institute of Economic Development and Social Researches, which is a young, active, and a creative organization. ICSAT was founded in 2010 by Dr. Mustafa Latif Emek, and since then its team, which is active in more than 200 countries, is working hard to extend current researches, programs, and practices in the field of social and economic development, as well as creating a platform to promote and maintain intercultural dialogue at all levels. ICSAT has different active departments, such as ICSAT Publishing House, Project Department, Conference Department, Academic Education Department, African Research Center, Black Sea Research Center, Demographic Research Center, Genocide Research Center, Middle East Research Center, Ottoman and Turkish Research Center, Women Studies Center, Discover Anatolia, Childhood and Youth Studies Center. Today, we have a very rich collection of works from 24 different countries, which will be presented in 23 different sessions for 2 days. I wish everyone a very successful and fruitful conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for for welcoming our guests. So today we have two keynote lectures. First lecture is from Dr. Kagla Gul from Istanbul University. Just a moment, I want to share the screen. So let me introduce first Dr. Kagla. Dr. Kagla is an academician at Istanbul University Computer Engineering Department in Turkey. With her educational background combined with a BS and master's degree in mechanical engineering, a master's degree in social sciences, and a PhD in communications, makes it possible for her to create a holistic ecosystem for humanity and inspire on technology. She is a believer in data science, technology, and committed to impact humanity on a global scale, and is true supporter of gender equality. Dr. Gul is one of the founders of Blockchain Women Association, and she carries out interdisciplinary academic researches on blockchain technology and gender equality, focused sustainability topics, and she published academic articles and books. She is going to deliver her lecture on the title Crypto Feminism. Dr. Kagla Gul, over to you.
Thank you. I'm going to be sharing my screen.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, just a moment. Yeah, now you can share your screen.
Can't pass through the whole screen.
From the bottom of the window
Or F5.
or F5, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. colleagues, professors, lecturers, researchers, and the organization committee. I would like to express my sincere gratitude and welcome you to the World Women Conference from Turkey. And it's my pleasure and privilege to have the chance to present my conceptual theory today. Yes, I'm an interdisciplinary researcher focusing on technology and humanity for a more sustainable world in the future. And my research and theory that I'll be presenting today is also an interdisciplinary one, which I name as cryptofeminism. It's also a great honor for me to bring this theory to the academic literature together with this valuable conference. Just to recheck, can you see my second slide? Is the slide changed already?
Not changing, ma'am. It's only first slide.
Okay. This is what I was afraid of. I'll continue that way if that's okay for everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, cryptology is a combination of the disciplines of mathematics, electrical engineering, and computer science. And if you just look at this slide, all the numbers and letters in a row is an encryption by cryptology. And this means exactly my name. Here you see, this is my name in an encrypted version with cryptology. And cryptology is the practice and study of techniques for secure communication that prevent third parties and the public from reading private messages. So briefly, cryptology science aims to keep data confidential through encryption. So we can include modern cryptography at the intersection of the disciplines of both engineering and communications. As well, another science and technology that deals with data security by cryptography is the blockchain technology. And blockchain technology is a one that provides a secure, transparent digital transaction ledger. And this allows data to be recorded and transferred over the internet as timestamps in a distributed structure, encrypted, and the most valuable may be unalterable. The cryptocurrencies, or let's say crypto assets with a micro perspective, including the non-fungible tokens, which we call them as NFTs, they are cryptography-based, mathematically encrypted digital currencies, and they're also digital data. This is produced and transferred by using the blockchain technology. And crypto assets are the first products of the blockchain technology. And today there are more than 17,000 of cryptocurrencies that are in use already. And those crypto assets which have entered our lives with blockchain technology have spread very quickly in different areas and industries, and already have created its own ecosystem, which we can call as an industry. And today, as we all live both in physical and cyber, the digital world, and this will be accelerated through more to digital together with the metaverse platforms that are evolving. And blockchain technology and the crypto assets, let's say, are the key infrastructure and assets of this new world, where we will not only use technology, but we will live the technology. Now, putting that information about the technology or its products or the high market cap or the disruption it causes in many industries aside, I would like to talk about a little bit on the historical background of technology in general with feminism. So the concept of feminism, as you all may know, discusses the difficulties and oppression experienced by women just because of their gender. And feminism or gender studies, they defend all kinds of economic, political, and socio-cultural equality between the opposite sexes by opposing the discrimination between men and women. There are different feminism theories already, and the one that I've been dealing more on, and one of the new ones, which is coined by Judith Weichmann as technofeminism, is a new wave of feminists that challenge technology and explores the complex relationship between gender and the digital culture. And technofeminism discusses the industrial technology's patriarchal character and suggests that since digital technologies are not based on the muscle power, there may be a new model of relationship between women and the digital machines in terms of production and the liberalism. The perception of technology, by the way, in the historical process, has spread to the field of software, which is a new type of machine for production, by being built with mainly production equipments after the industrial revolutions, which is the third one started with. And the relatively pessimistic early literature and debates on technology and gender, they do focus on heavily women's inability to develop their technical knowledge and skills. But in the following period, discussions about the exclusion of women with higher technical education from production and the business world and its cultural basis follows, as we do still discuss today. And the masculine construction of the language and symbolism of technology carries inclusiveness to a point that is far away from personal or individual competence and skills. And from this point of view, focusing on crypto and blockchain technology back, the constructed culture within the crypto ecosystem is at the risk of being knitted around the ideas that feminism has been fighting for years. And it would be correct to discuss the crypto feminism debate over the spread of male-dominated culture being constructed within the crypto ecosystem. Coming back to the symbolic conceptualization is at the forefront of male-dominated coding initiatives for blockchain technology and the gender of the crypto universe as well. Bitcoin, you may all know, is the first and most dominating blockchain protocol, as well the cryptocurrency. And the image of Bitcoin is being constructed as masculine. Simply today, when we talk about information production and research, which is the first step in the dissemination of information in the world, we can base the Google search engine as the most searched medium. And when you search for the author of Bitcoin, his name is Satoshi Nakamoto. When you search Satoshi Nakamoto keywords on Google through images, you'll see that the images you can see until you receive you have reached the end warning consists entirely of male photos or images containing the opinions of male individuals on the subject. And the search results of the inventor of Bitcoin, let's say, whose real identity is by no means known, the photographs that come up are all extension of this male-dominated culture, which is rooted in fact that he is male. And according to a research, namely being a woman in the blockchain ecosystem, the number of women working in the blockchain projects is very, very low. Another research which aims at finding out why women are not investing in crypto finds out that it's due to their low level of knowledge about the technology, and this is caused by the low level of inclusion. Blockchain technology already has created a serious space for itself in terms of communication, and the speakers of the crypto events or the conferences and the opinion leaders finding space on mainstream media are unfortunately rarely women. But on the other hand, there is an opportunity still. The blockchain technology, which provides a secure anonymity in terms of identities, allows the gender-neutral construction of virtual identities when we look at the future and dream about the metaverse platforms. Briefly, When I talk about crypto feminism, it's the umbrella concept that defines the struggle to ensure that the male-dominated perception of the blockchain and the crypto ecosystem and prejudices do not constitute an obstacle to inclusivity in this area, where production and consumption based on knowledge and competencies can be made regardless of gender and physical body characteristics. The positive reflections of the anonymity and trust issue, which I have just mentioned, and that reinforces its place in our lives with crypto through the new communication forms, are candidates to open up space for the capture of gender equality in the focus of crypto feminism. As a final message, this is not included within my article, but I would like to just spread the message that the critical priority for solving the problems of humanity by using technology and technology products is to conceive of human perception as inclusive. Thank you very much. It's a great honor for me that you have included my new conceptual theory on the opening speech of this conference. And happy World Women's Day to all my women colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the very interesting and very new topic, and we are honored to listen you today. So our respected principal ma'am has joined. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute yourself. So our next speaker is respected principal madam, Professor Harpreet Kaur. She is also the conference head of this International World Women Conference. She has written almost 33 books, 17 book chapters, 38 research papers in national and 9 in international journals. She has also done 30 book reviews, 13 forwards, editorials, and many newspaper articles. She has done 2 innovation research projects under the aegis of University of Delhi, 1 major research project under the aegis of UGC. She has been also advisor, Global Institute for Sikh Studies, New York, USA. She has been received Commonwealth Innovation Forum Award 2021 for leadership in women education, the Great Indian Teacher Award on September 4, 2021. She has also received Great Indian Woman Award on 4th September 2021 by the Honorable Governor of Uttarakhand, Baby Rani Maurya. And recently she has received its Sri Gaurav Award for her achievement as an educationist. So I welcome ma'am and invite her to deliver her lecture on the topic Empowering Women to Stand for Environmental Rights for Sustainable Development. Ma'am, over to you. Can I share your PPT? Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, I will share my PPT also, and I'll share the screen. Yeah, my PPT is visible. Yes, is my PPT visible?
Yes.
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, and I really wish to have a lot of wishes to all the women who are attending, and also men who have this feminist strand. This International Women's Day, a very, very happy day to you, all of you. And I really look forward that, that we have a very enlightening day ahead, and days ahead rather. Because you see, empowerment of women is a question everywhere in the world. But I understand that this forum, where we are having International Women's Day, we are celebrating in a very unique manner, where we are putting academic researches of women and showcasing, and we all are meeting together from so many countries all together, different countries together, but we are separated by borders, but the spirit is same. The womanhood is same. We are celebrating womanhood. So I really want to pass on my wishes to all of you. And I really wish that, women all over the world are empowered. Second thing is, first of all, I want to wish all this wish you all in this multidisciplinary and multilingual conference. It is truly international in spirit, with so many participant countries across the globe, whether it is UK, US, or whether it is India and or Pakistan, or Turkey, and so many other countries which I am not naming because we all know, also England and so on. And we have made efforts to come together with our counterparts there in Turkey, and I'm so thankful that we have done one research conference earlier also, and this is another one, and ahead we'll do many more, putting the researches of people together on an academic platform. And it is a very serious kind of research, but we must understand that today's research is mainly celebrating the women, also talking about the problems of women, but at the same time, we at our part are suggesting solutions for it also. We are prepared for it also. We are geared up to for the future, and we have all kind of freedoms as far as most of the democratic countries are concerned. Yet we face a little bit of problem. So these problems also we are discussing, but at the same time, how future should go on, that is our main concern. So on behalf of myself, chairman of the organizing board, and my team, of course, Dr. Kamlesh, Dr. Lukesh, Dr. Uzma, who have put in a lot of effort, and Samira, I want to welcome, and also Shagla, also Dr. Mustafa, and all the people who are there, who are participants, as well as who have taken a lot of lead in this conference. I welcome you all. Now I'll start with my PPT. And firstly, the question is empowering women to stand for environmental rights for sustainable development. I am starting with a different note, but that note is very, very relevant. Of course, when I talk about Indian women, I will also in due course discuss a lot of problems which are there, which the Indian women are facing. But at the same time, I must start with this very relevant note. We all know war is going on in Ukraine. And when we see the Ukraine war, we are seeing also that, all the men are there who are fighting, but women and children are there in the trains and going out and escaping or staying behind in Ukraine. Now, this Indian girl who was living there, now this Indian girl said, because she was saved by a family and she was living with them. Now, this Indian girl said that, no, I will not go back to India because this family has saved me, and I will stay here and serve them and be with them, because the men have gone out for fighting and the women and children are alone. Since this family has saved me, I am duty bound to be with them. Now, these are the values of Indian women. And this we have seen very recently. You have heard also, we have seen all through. So with these values, I will discuss other problems which are there, but which we can overcome very fast because of the mindset. Now this, we see that India is an emerging economy. India views sustainable development as need rather than choice. So it is important for us, and we are not choosing it, but we are making a part and parcel of our policy framework as well as implementation programs. Of course, there are challenges, which in due course of my PPT, I will discuss various challenges: gender inequity, population growth, poverty, illiteracy, economic growth, consumer trends, urbanization. These problems are there across the country, but overcoming these problems for the country's growth is a priority. The role of men and women is equally important in dealing with these issues, but role of women is more crucial. Of course, nearly half of the population is women all through the world. In India, the population percentage is 48.5. So the objective of my PPT is to understand the role of Indian women in achieving the SDGs in the Indian scenario. Now, of gender equality and sustainable development. They are so integrated to each other. They are part and parcel. Now, implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals will go a long way in making India gender equal and empower the women. Gender equality, we have to see in the overarching framework of human rights as well as an indicator of sustainable development. Both the things, mainly it is the question of human rights, and then, of course, a part and parcel of sustainable development. But gender inequity is present all through the cultures. I am not specifying any continent, but when there are certain inherent problems, and gender equality is embedded at various places on the globe, and they are somehow considered inferior. The so-called inferior status is imposed on them. Now, this gender-based discrimination is there when they try to access education, healthcare, employment, even in their personal and social spaces. So Indian society, which is epicenter of this inequality, of course, a lot of problems are there in the society. Discriminatory attitudes is a main problem of it, and women become the victim of it. So inequality in India is by and large, even today, continuing in the unequal legal status. Somehow constitution gives us equality, but somehow there are certain problems, because only recently we have got the equal right to property as far as the son and daughter is concerned, or two siblings are concerned if they are brother and sister. So these kind of problems are there. Then different occupational opportunities, educational opportunities, health inequities, and political representation also is, although we have reservation at the lower level up to 50% also, but we are not seeing so many women, maybe in the bureaucracy, maybe in the police and other bureaucracy, the women faces are not so many. But Indian Constitution largely grants equal right, but gender differences sadly continue. Now, India is also a country where women is considered to be goddess, where they are revered. They are also revered as goddess, but it leaves a smear of inequity. This is the terrible reality, which we are overcoming in due course of time, but a lot of way has to be charted yet. So while implementing the Sustainable Development Goals, it is necessary to address gender inequity and also the economic hardships and the employment prospects which are there, and especially in the rural areas. So equal inclusion still is not a part of the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, one thing which I consider important is that population control and women are very related. The concept should be very related to each other. They should be attached with each other. Of course, because now uneducated women, a percentage of women, they marry very young and they contribute largely to the population. In 1956, we had a program of family planning, which is a Planned Parenthood, but a lot of opposition was there due to various reasons. Maybe one reason is that people prefer large families, and they want the male heir. So that also they want a son. That is one preference. Although this program did not achieve its target, but family planning has not failed in India. What we have to do is we have to revamp this thinking and vitalize the activities, and followed by attempts at increasing social consciousness on the merits of small families. Female empowerment will go a long way in lowering the stress of population growth, because education provides opportunities to women to go out of the house. They have a lot to contribute to the society, and also it will help them to improve their reproductive health. And they are prepared for sort of unwanted pregnancies. If it all happen, they are prepared for it. Also, they know about the female health issues and the transmitted diseases also, so they become more cautious. Another thing is nutrition. Nutrition and healthy diet promote fertility with Planned Parenthood. They can plan the entire thing. Another thing is role of women in poverty reduction. It's very vital. because poverty is a multifaceted problem, particularly in the developing countries. So despite progress, of course, globalization has brought in a lot of opportunities, and poverty has drastically reduced. But a major challenge is there. People and all the people across the world, they are facing this kind of problem of poverty, more so in those developing countries. Now, poverty is a primary concern under the development goals, and reducing poverty by zero by 2030 is the main aim. United Nations in 2015 said this. Now, poverty has a different impact on different people, whether they are men, women, or family or individual. Different impact is there. I will discuss how women are worst hit by poverty because their home responsibilities tend to give, they take a lot of time of theirs. So somehow they cannot contribute to the household earning. Maybe education they cannot get. Maybe they cannot reinvent themselves in their employment because you have to reinvent in yourself even while you are in employment. You have to spend time on your own capacity building. Maybe women do not have time because of their overarching responsibilities. Then poverty also significantly increases undernutrition in women and children. Now this I will discuss little later how Indian women have a different kind of a response to this undernutrition and when the food is less. But the poverty alleviation measures reduce the number of people living in poverty and including the housewives. So inclusion of women in development. We have initiated the micro businesses. Now, even the World Bank and Asian Development Bank, they are helping the women if they gather some of their savings and start these micro businesses, which is a movement in India. And this self-help groups, which is aided by World Bank also and Asian Development Bank also, they are helping the women at the grassroots in financial inclusion and dignity in the society they are getting. And personally, they are very confident in the personal space as well. Now, this women literacy and empowerment, if I say, read a quote of United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan, former, literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. So education is the hope. Education, women education, we are focusing. For both, it is important, whether men and women, but educating women is educating the entire family. It is important for social justice, social transformation, development, empowerment. Now, there is substantial gender gap in literacy landscape in the country. Of course, that one thing is that, but there is corollary gender gap in literacy attainment. Now, these are two different things. For example, if gender gap is there in the literacy landscape by underinvestment in women's schooling, there is gap due to the attitudinal problems. The attitude is not there that we will not send girl child to the school. So that is creating a lot of problem, and literacy attainment is not possible with this kind of attitude. But if we see the overall literacy rate, 64.8, the male literacy is 75.3, while female is 53.7. This gap of 21.6 at the national level, and which is more so in the rural areas. But I can say very optimistically that India in 2017 and 22 is far more literate than India in 1987. So we are improving in the statistics, and we have broken this lower literacy trap. That means the parents' illiteracy leads to poor literacy outcomes for successive generation. Now we have broken out of it. Parents want the children to be educated, the girls to be educated. Now there are various governmental programs, they have helped quite a lot. A very interesting phenomena, this midday meal scheme 1995 is very important, where the government is giving midday meal, the afternoon meal to the children who are going to schools. And this has been a very successful program, and children have gone out and they are going to the schools. This Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan 2001 is education for all. And this then it was subsequently added by National Program of Education for Girls at Elementary Level 2003. Then in 2008, we had the incentive-based program, Dhanalakshmi. Then right to education has become a part and parcel. 2009, that right to education, you can claim it. Also that, there should be washrooms for girls, and especially construction was done for it under the Clean School Initiative. And one very important and a very interesting is save the daughters and educate the daughters. So both the things that we are, because they are very important part and parcel of our society, and it is important to save them also and educate them also. So gap between male and female literacy rates for children and youth is shrinking steadily, signaling a greater gender parity in literacy attainment. Still, if we see the problem is there of access, expanding coverage, improving quality, and convincing parents to send their daughters to school. So mindset has to be transformed. Then vocational training and supporting income generating activities is very related to literacy. Now, role of women in Indian economy. If I see the participation rate of our labor force is 23.7, but we are just contributing the 18% to India's GDP. So urbanization is sort of, encouraging women to join the labor force, but it is not so sufficient, because they sometimes end up in the low paid jobs, and sometimes, with the higher level, they are unable to reach to the higher level. Of course, a change is coming in. We see women in all the fronts, but still it is insufficient. But a lot of good responses also come in the rural areas. This farming and dairy sector movement, where women are there in the cooperatives and they are making, for example, all the milk products together and selling to the market, where they have their own stake in the company also. That has been there has been a movement in the rural areas, and many women have come forward. Now, rural India women entrepreneurs have forged their path, and they are leading towards diverse portfolios. According to this McKinsey's Global Institute, if we just involve the Indian women in the workforce, we will add 770 billion to India's GDP by 2025. Now, this is very important, because sometimes due to a social constraint, due to the pressures of the family, the women have to quit their job after marriage, and especially after the childbirth. Now, this is positive impact can be achieved by promoting gender equality in workplace and equal opportunities for the women entrepreneurs. And women-owned business are creating job, of course, and a substantial sale is also there, and women are coming forward in the startups also. Now, women health and sustainability is another important thing. Health equity is there in men and women, of course, all through the world and in India also. But in cases of poverty, what happens? When the food is scarce, the Indian woman would be by nature, we are like that, we would be the last to eat. And there also, they would feed the husband and male child. So this malnutrition problem, where the food is in scarcity, is there in the girl child and women. So when the food is not enough, then they are the ones who suffer most. In poor household in rural areas, women have to assume additional labor. Why? Because sometimes, they don't have access to tap water in the too much interior areas. So they have to fetch water. They have to walk long distances to collect firewood, or they have to think about solution to prevent homes from getting too hot during summers. Because then, for that, what is happening? A very positive change is coming. Community at the grassroots is becoming very active. This community at the grassroots, which are spearheaded by women, are trying to implement climate resilient solutions. For example, rainwater harvesting, sprinkler taps, which came into existence from the area in Rajasthan, then low cost roof cooling options to reduce temperature of their homes, soil conservation, planting trees, and so on. So women health is also dependent on environmental, lifestyle, socio-cultural features, and they are associated with health and disease. So, and implications on preventive measures and treatment is there. All things are linked. So burden for the women are lowered when families, communities, and health system. So it is a movement which has to go together, where the families are also supporting, the support of community is there, and health system is reasserting that kind of a atmosphere where they are getting adequate preventive care. So then healthy behaviors will come in and preventive care would be possible. This gender awareness has the potential to minimize the gender bias in the healthcare. So if I sum up everything, under the Sustainable Development Goals, the United Nations Sustainability Development Summit in New York in 2015, the women empowerment and gender equity has been reiterated. In India, we are taking a lot of affirmative policies for women's empowerment. For example, financial inclusion, as I explained in the self-help group movements, where inclusion of the women, even at the grassroots, even with their own saving, but they are a part and parcel of the financial inclusion program. For example, education, I said that Save the Child and Save the Daughters, that kind of a schemes which are there initiated. Self-employment opportunities for the startups also, and many other opportunities. For familial and social security, for example, we have this for the family security, we have one-stop centers. As many as 234 centers are there across India, where assistance under one roof for women who are affected by violence, both in private and public spaces, and which I believe is there in all the parts of the world, whether developing nations or developed nations. This violence perpetrated to the women is a phenomenon. Then this Ujwalan Women Helpline, which is to contain trafficking of women and children for commercial exploitation through social mobilization and involvement of local communities and awareness generation programs. For women's safety, we have Nirbhaya Fearless dedicated fund for implementation of initiatives aimed at enhancing safety and security for women in India. For nutrition, we have a lot of incentives and lot of aid and lot of medicines, and good food is distributed to pregnant and lactating mothers through Anganwadis. Healthcare, and for women entrepreneurship, we have self-help groups. So the way ahead is also that we have to think about certain other changes or what we have to reiterate or reassert. And one thing is specifically targeted expenditure to women and girls. It should be very specifically made that this is the part which we are spending on women and girls so that they are empowered. Then pro-women allocation, composite expenditure schemes with a significant women component. That is very important. If women are part and parcel of the policy making, naturally they will think of women ahead. Focus on capacity building. So it is not one-time aid, but it is making them stand on their own feet, empowering them. Improvement in their living conditions. That is very important. Access to and control over power, resources, human rights and institution, judicial system, etc. Then these efforts, although very minuscule, for gender mainstreaming. Gender mainstreaming is integrating a gender equality perspective at all stages and level of policies, programs, projects. So gender mainstreaming is required, and when we are making efforts, it might not be sufficient, but at least that the effort has begun. Although limited success, but a step towards empowering them to live full, independent, and productive lives. So women in India are holding their head in esteem. They are also having a social dignity, and in the personal space also they have dignity. And this kind of a movement, this kind of a social transformation is just set in, and a lot of changes are coming ahead. So what we want is, after all, that men and women should be equally empowered to achieve ultimate goal of sustainable development, So making this small changes in the financial perspective, in the personal space, in the social space, a lot of changes can come in. And I see the future very optimistic and for the women of the world and specifically of India. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a very
Thank you.
informative lecture. And actually, we are honored to listen both the speaker. They have delivered very, very interesting and very, very important, informative lecture today. So now I'd like to invite our respected Dr. Kamlesh Kaur, ma'am, for the closing remarks. Kamlesh, ma'am, Dr. Kamlesh Kaur, ma'am. Okay, I think ma'am is busy. So our head scientific advisory board, Dr. Lokesh sir, is also with us. I'd like to invite Dr. Lokesh sir to say a few words. Oh, he is also not there. I think there is some network issue.
Their mics are closed. Both of them joined.
Moment. Dr. Lokesh sir, can you please unmute yourself?
Very gracious good afternoon to everybody. I really welcome to all the participants, those who have joined for their paper presentation and very nice talk by the two speakers. And from my side, I'll say the woman is the primary caretaker of children and elder people in the world. But international studies demonstrate that when the economy and the political organization changes there, women play a lead role in helping and adjusting the family to the new realities and challenges. They are likely to be prime initiative of outside assistance and play very important role in facilitating for change in the family life. The theme of International Women's Day 2019 was Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change. It was chosen to identify innovative ways to advance gender equality and empowerment of women, accelerating the 2030 agenda, building momentum for the effective implementation of new UN sustainable goal. Of course, of women opportunities still lag behind those of men worldwide, but the historic current role of women is indisputable. With this, I welcome all the participants. Thank you very much. Thanks, Iskard, and all those who are sparing time to listen. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Lokesh.
Dr. Lokesh sir is busy right now. He is not able to join. So let's move to the session. So just so I'd like to thank Atta Beg as a coordinator of Institute of Economic Development and Social Researches, because he has worked really hard during this whole program. Day and night, we are like coordinating for each kind of changes during this conference. I also like to express my thanks to the Scientific Advisory Board of Mata Sundari College for Women and also the ICSAD. I extend my thanks to the participants for submitting their research papers for this conference. Thank you all. Now we are closing this session. I request everyone to join their respective sessions. Meeting ID and passcode already shared. I am also sharing the same in the chat box. See you in the main session. So as per the timing, just I am pasting the message. So
Oh my goodness.
main session will start at 12:30 p.m. New Delhi time, local time, and for Ankara it's 10. So please join as per your time zone. ID and passcode I'm also sharing. I think you all get the ID and passcode. So can I close this session now, respected principal ma'am? Okay, so let's meet in our main session. I have already shared all the information in the chat box. See you there. Thank you all for joining this opening session.